My name is August Nimtz. I've been asked by the Jail to Kill a Cops Coalition to be one of the co-moderators for this evening's event, along with Aislinn Pulley, who I'll introduce later in the program. Today is the 56th anniversary of the assassination of Malcolm X. And while many of us know a few things about Malcolm X, one of the things that is not widely known is how deeply involved Malcolm X was in the fight against police brutality. I should mention, by the way, that I'm here in Minneapolis. I teach at the University of Minnesota, also active in the Minnesota-Cuba Coalition. I mention that because late in the program, I'll say a few words about the struggle to end police brutality here in Minnesota. So with that as a brief introduction, we'd like to begin with a clip, some footage of Malcolm X, which illustrates the point I just made about the fight against police brutality and the significance of it for him. So with that, I'd like to ask our very able technician, Aza Rojbe, who helps to make this possible, if she would roll that clip of Malcolm X.
The police are able to use the press to make the white public think that 90% or 99% of the Negroes in the Negro community are criminals. And once the white public is convinced that most of the Negro community is a criminal element, then this automatically paves the way for the police to move into the Negro community, exercising Gestapo tactics, stopping any black man who is on the sidewalk, whether he is guilty or whether he is innocent, whether he is well-dressed or whether he is poorly dressed, whether he is educated or whether he is dumb, whether he's a Christian or whether he's a Muslim. As long as he is black and a member of the Negro community, the white public thinks that the white policeman is justified in going in there and trampling on that man's civil rights and on that man's human rights. Once the police have convinced the white public that the so-called Negro community is a criminal element, they can go in and question, brutalize, murder unarmed, innocent Negroes, and the white public is gullible enough to back them up.
Thanks very much, Asa. We appreciate Ike putting together and finding that footage. It's a nice introduction to our program tonight. That was a talk that was given in about 1962. Malcolm was assassinated in 1965, and it reflected the reality of anti-police brutality work in that moment. And what's so different today from that moment is the fact that indeed lots of white people are indeed aware of the police brutality and a part of the police brutality fights in a way that simply was not the case. And that's especially dramatic here in Minnesota, where the George Floyd protests began, and the first mass march that took place in Minnesota on May 26, 2020. More than 5,000 people, the majority of whom were Caucasian, white people, participated in that march. And it registers the significance, what's so different about today and the opportunities we have today to build a kind of mass movement to jail killer cops.